In an age of legends, a once glorious kingdom now lies breathless under the suffocating shroud of a mysterious and deadly plague that sweeps through every home and heart. The streets are empty. The laughter of children has vanished, and a heavy silence hangs over the cold stone walls as the people wait for a miracle. The benevolent king gazes upon his suffering people, his heart breaking with every cough that echoes from the streets below. Hope is fading like a flickering candle. "Gideon," the king whispers, his voice trembling with age and grief. "You are our last hope. Find the dragon's treasure, the only thing that can save us." Gideon vows to return with the cure. He sees the dragon not as a savior, but as a monster hoarding the life-giving treasure that belongs to his people. As the sun sets in a trail of blood-red light, the warrior begins his lonely journey toward the Forbidden Mountains, carrying the weight of a dying world. There are times when the fate of an entire kingdom rests on the shoulders of one man. Yet fear often clouds the path of the most righteous. When prejudice takes root in the heart, reason is often the first casualty. Gideon marches forward, fueled by a dangerous mixture of duty and deep-seated inherited hatred. The climb is treacherous, and the air is thin and freezing. Every step is a battle against nature itself, but the fire of desperation keeps him moving. His only companion is the king's faithful bird, a small spark of life in the frozen wasteland, screaming warnings into the howling winds of the high peaks. Finally, the entrance to the dragon god's lair looms ahead, a dark abyss that seems to swallow the very light of day, smelling of sulfur and age. Legends speak of the dragon god as a guardian of the world's greatest wealth. Gideon only knows one thing: he must take it, no matter the cost. The orange glow of the torch reveals a path paved with the bones of those who came before, a grim reminder of the dragon's perceived cruelty and power. Every step resonates with the weight of history. The warrior's mind is filled with stories of monsters and destruction, hardening his heart against any mercy or doubt. The air grows thick with the scent of old magic and decaying metal. Gideon draws his sword, the steel singing a low, sharp note in the quiet. Deep within the mountain, the dragon god resides. It is a creature of immense size and terrifying beauty, its golden scales shimmering even in the dim light. Fear and adrenaline surge through Gideon's veins. He watches the beast, waiting for the perfect moment to strike and claim the prize that will save his people. The dragon is not hoarding gold or jewels. It is focused intently on a simple stone basin, its massive head bowed as if in prayer or pain. In its eyes, there is a profound weariness, a fatigue that transcends centuries. But to Gideon, this looks like the cunning of a predator preparing its trap. When we look through the lens of hatred, even an act of salvation can look like a threat. Gideon sees only a monster standing in his way. The dragon's roar is thunderous, echoing through the cavern like a warning. It is a sound of power. Yet there is a hidden note of desperate pleading. Driven by the plight of his kingdom, Gideon lunges. He ignores the dragon's hesitant movements, interpreting its defensive stance as a preparation for a lethal strike. The battle is a blur of motion and steel. The warrior is fast, driven by a desperate need for the cure he believes the dragon is hiding. Anger blinds the mind. Gideon focuses on the dragon's weakness, unaware that the scars he sees are the marks of a sacrifice already in progress for him. For a fleeting second, their eyes meet. The dragon's gaze is not one of malice, but of deep compassion, a silent message that the warrior fails. With a final, explosive burst of strength, Gideon strikes. He puts all the hope and fear of his dying kingdom into this one, decisive, and fatal blow. The blade sinks deep into the heart of the ancient being. A fountain of liquid gold spills forth, the lifeblood of a god sacrificed for the ignorant. The mighty dragon god falls. Its strength leaves it like a receding tide, and the light in its eyes begins to flicker out, replaced by stillness. Gideon has won the battle, but as the dust settles, a cold realization begins to seep into his soul. The monster is dead, yet the hero. In its final moment, the dragon looks not at its killer, but at the treasure it was protecting. A treasure that was never meant for its own. He reaches the bowl, expecting to find gold or a magical gem. Instead, he finds a mixture of tears, blood, and rare herbs. Carefully prepared medicine. This was the cure. Not a hoard of riches, but a remedy crafted from the dragon's own life. The treasure was the dragon's willing, painful sacrifice. The realization hits him like a physical blow. The dragon wasn't guarding the treasure from the people. It was creating it for them, giving its life. "What have I done?" he whispers, his voice cracking. The hero who came to save his people has just murdered their greatest and most selfless benefactor. Even the bird seems to mourn the loss of the ancient soul. The true treasure was not something to be taken by force, but a gift. He fills the vial with the precious medicine, knowing that while it will save his kingdom, it cost the world a piece of its ancient magic. Prejudice is a wall that hides the truth from the heart. Gideon's sword was sharp, but his judgment was clouded by the stories and fears. The journey home is longer and heavier than the journey there. The warrior carries the cure, but he also carries a darkness that will remain. He returns as a hero in the eyes of his people. They see the savior who conquered the dragon, unaware of the tragic truth behind him. The king takes the medicine, his hands shaking with relief. "You have saved us all, Gideon," he says. But the warrior cannot find the words. The plague recedes. Life returns to the kingdom, and the gray mist finally clears, revealing a world that is once again vibrant and full of laughter. While the city rejoices, the man who brought the light remains in the shadows. To everyone else, the dragon was a demon. To Gideon, a saint. He wears the medals of a hero, but they feel like lead against his chest. Every cheer from the crowd is a reminder of the life. The scars on his soul are deeper than any wound he received in battle. He has learned the most painful lesson: the danger of a mind. We often destroy what we do not understand. Gideon spends his days reflecting on the dragon's sacrifice, hoping to one day find the same grace. He chooses a life of wandering, dedicated to teaching others to look beyond appearances and to seek the truth that lies beneath the surface of fear. True strength is not found in the edge of a blade, but in the capacity for understanding and the courage to question one's own beliefs. He tells the story of the monster who gave everything, ensuring that the dragon's noble legacy lives on in the hearts of those willing to listen. Through his words, the warrior seeks to dismantle the walls of prejudice. He becomes a guardian of the truth he once ignored in his pride. Do not judge anything until you have understood its true nature. Do not let your anger or your fear blind your reason and lead you. Prejudice is a heavy wall that separates the human heart from the ultimate truth. We must learn to see with our souls before our hands. The treasure was never gold. It was the capacity for mercy. May we all find the wisdom to see the light before it is late. In the end, the greatest treasure is the wisdom we gain from our mistakes. Let us walk with open hearts through the mysteries of life.